So I've built a wall. And I initially prefabbed these walls when the trailer was in its first stage. I worked off the flatbed and I was planning to go this height. But now that I'm looking at it, this is a boat trailer. Small tires. I think it might be a little bit overweight. And I got enough storage on here for my needs. But the original plan was to have another deck right here, plywood top, and then I'll have about a foot more of storage. But I got to thinking, you can't really see up in there. You won't know what you got. So it's going to be a catch-all. So I figured it'd be more practical to lower the trailer to this height. That would be less weight. The doors would be smaller. It will fit in any standard garage door opening of 8 feet by 7. I can complete the project indoors. It can be stored indoors. If I move this trailer to that side, I can access all the drawers on that side. And the back, just push the trailer out the front of the garage a little bit. So I've got some roof rafters with a slight curve in them. Got a few installed. I'll give an example. So I'm building the rafters out of 2x3s, and what I've done is I split the difference and marked it and chalked a line from here to the halfway point of the length of the board to 0 in both directions to create the hump. I still need improvement on my cutting. A table saw would be ideal for this process. So I discovered this was out of level. Something must be a little bit out of square. So I disassembled it, leveled it up, squared it up. Not everything turns out the way it's planned. Something is off square, but I'd much rather have the walls level and straight than have a cockeyed looking trailer going down the road. Now we're ready for this fill. So I went to my local Home Depot. I was looking at T111 and came across this. And this is LP Smartside. And it's $46 a sheet. Comes in 4x8 sheets. I've already cut it in half. And this side has the weather resistant protectant. And the other side is OSB board. So from the base of the trailer to here is a little over 4 feet. And then you need to add this, which is about 4 more inches. So I'm going to use half sheets and go from here to about here and then fill that gap with trim. So when I put this all in place, nail it, screw it, glue it, it's going to help support the entire trailer. Clamp it. Now this is just a dry fit to make sure everything's going to line up correctly. And then you want the tongue facing outward and in the center of your 4-foot stud, and this tongue facing inward. Little paint on all the cut edges. Seal the exposed edges. Now they have a little built-in ridge along here, and that's where the next sheet butts up against. And you just line it up with that line, and it gives you this spacing. Also put a bead of glue along there. You can also paint these joints. I'm going to put glue in there for weather sealing. Wow. A lot of nailing. Oh my God. Now for the roof line, I've installed a piece of scrap the whole way down to fill this void. Then I'll put a bead of sealant on that crack. And then I'll have a piece of trim painted white that overlaps it and seals it the whole way down. So for the roof line, I've come up with this contraption. Initially, I was going to do it just like they do a camper, have it come over and flat. But then I got to thinking, with the doors on that side, doors in the back, I want to overhang. Because the doors will be flat right here to risk water infiltrating the trailer. Plus, you won't be sheeting water on your siding consistently. Here's a little closer shot. I'm going to have rubber roofing come right around and under here. And this is a finished strip that will clip right on. And I'll goop that with sealant. Now it creates a little lip here, but if somehow water gets under there, it's on the rubber roofing. And this was out here a little bit. And then the water will come around, and water has a tendency to follow back, but it will hit this, come down, and want to follow back again, but it can't make the leap from here to here. So it would just drip. Now, wind-driven rain will hit here, but it's set up the way shingles are layered. It's going to hit there and then drip. And then right here, I also wanted ventilation in the trailer, which I've created right here. So here's a close-up of the ventilation. And then from the inside, you should be able to see my fingers. So that'll be the ventilation across the roof rafters. And I'll put a little screen so critters can't get in there. So let me disassemble this so it makes more sense. Here's your first piece of trim. And there's your ventilation. Here's the trim that overlaps the gap. Then we've got this strip here that will be glued, silicone, or I have self-leveling sealant I might be able to use. So I've got this same setup on the other side, so I can just measure the length to cut the sheathing for the roof. This is what I'll be using for the ventilation. This is a vinyl drywall corner strip, and I'll take a knife, cut it right down the center, and it'll give me two 8-foot pieces. And then I've got my trim board, 8 feet long. I could not find this in a 16-foot length unless I went up in higher quality lumber, and then the price goes way up. So I'll install the trim in two pieces, and instead of butting them up together, I'll do a scarf joint, which camouflages where they're joined together. So I finally got the roof on. Turned out better than expected. Got a little slope to it. Nice smooth transition. I'll have to prep these joints with some glue, mesh tape, in preparation for the rubber roof. Got an overhang here. Ventilation strip. Roof trim. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and in the next video I'll install the rubber roof